Hello, my fellow minor league nerds, and welcome to the 5th episode of our Minor League Nerds short series, where we talk about teams that either did not exist all that long, or ones where there just isn't a whole lot of information out there about them. Not only will this be the last episode of our first calendar year, it will also be a two-part episode. In this first part, I will be talking about the Newark Co-Pilots. The Co-Pilots were founded in 1968 when the York-Penn League added 3 new teams, with the others being the Corning Royals, who only lasted for 2 seasons, and the other being the Williamsport Astros, who survived until the reorganization of MILB in 2020 when they folded as the Lowell Spinners. The Co-Pilots did not play in Newark, New Jersey, which is what I'm sure you were thinking when you heard the name. They were located in Newark, New York, a village of around 11,000 in 1968, just over 9,000 today, that is located 35 miles southeast of Rochester and 48 miles west of Syracuse. The team's unusual name came from their original parent club, the 1969 American League expansion team, the Seattle Pilots. The Seattle club only lasted 1 season, going bankrupt just before the start of the 1970 season. They were sold to a group led by Bud Selig, who relocated them to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where they became the Milwaukee Brewers. By starting in 1968, the Co-Pilots were the first affiliate of the Seattle Pilots. After the team moved to Milwaukee, the Co-Pilots retained their now obsolete name for the rest of their existence. They qualified for the playoffs in their first season by coming in 4th with a 38-36 record, losing to the Oneonta Yankees in the first round. They wouldn't make the postseason again during the rest of their existence, mostly due to the fact that the York-Penn League eliminated playoffs from 1969 to 1976, instead awarding the championship to whichever team finished on top, which the Co-Pilots did in 1975 when they went 47-20. During their 12 years, the Co-Pilots played at Colburn Park, a no-frills 2,000-seat wooden bleacher stadium that opened in 1968. The ballpark may not have been exciting, but the playing surface was considered one of the best in the league at the time, as the grounds crew worked hard and paid close attention to every detail, receiving praise from visiting players and managers alike. Beginning in 1967, the York-Penn League was a short-season Class A league operating near the bottom of MLB's development ladder. Most players were teenagers straight out of high school. Only a minuscule number of co-pilots ever saw time in the major leagues. Still, several future Brewers stars of the late 70s and early 80s did play for the team. They include Hall of Famer Robin Yount in 1973, as well as Jim Gantner and Moose Haas, who both played for the team in 1974. Future Minnesota Twins manager Tom Kelly, who led the team to World Series titles in 1987 and 1991, played on that very first team in 1968. Attendance was never all that great for the Co-Pilots, which isn't surprising considering how tiny Newark, New York is. Their best year was 1970, when they drew just under 21,000 fans, with their lowest being 1977, when they drew just under 10,000. The Milwaukee Brewers pulled their affiliation after the 1978 season. Lou Henellis and Mal Fitchman, who were discussed extensively in our recent Mostly Forgotten Teams episode about the Rocky Mount Pines, bought the team in January 1979 for $1. They operated the Co-Pilots as an independent, with no major league parent club. They built their roster with wannabe amateurs who participated in one of their instructional camps, those who came out for open tryouts, as well as cast-offs from other teams. The team managed to go 32-39, finishing in 4th place in the 5-team Wrigley division. Following the 1979 season, Jim Mills president of the full-season Class A Carolina League, approached Fitchman about fielding one of the two new teams in his league. Being intrigued at the thought of operating a team at a higher class, Henellis and Fitchman folded the Co-Pilots and then set up shop in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, which you can learn about in our episode about the Rocky Mount Pines, which will be linked below. The York-Penn League would return to Colburn Park in 1983 with the Newark Orioles, who will be covered in Part 2. Well, my fellow minor league nerds, that'll do it for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel or your preferred podcast platform to be notified whenever a new episode is uploaded. Until next time, stay safe, and remember to never stop supporting minor league baseball and never stop learning about minor league baseball history.